Hey everyone, we are back with another battle report. 2,000 points of Tyranids taking on the Ultramarines. The Ultramarines have returned to the channel and are looking to take the Tyranid menace down. So from the previous battle report, if you watched it, it was my revised Super Tyrant list taking on the Salamanders. It performed very well. So I'm going to try it out again and see if the Ultramarines can take it down. I'm going to see if the same successes can be had once again. So we'll go over the list in detail just in case you didn't catch it last time. So it's a Behemoth Battalion with a Super Tyrant, which is a Hive Tyrant with wings, 2 Twin-Linked Brainleech Devourers, the Tyran Relic, wings, said wings, obviously, adrenal glands, toxin sacs, murderous size, adaptive physiology, and he has catalyst and unstoppable hunger. Then my warlord is a flying Hive Tyrant with 2 sets of twin-linked devours and rending claws just to offer some support. He has onslaught and catalyst as well, so really looking to ensure that I get catalyst on where I need it. Swarmlord with unstoppable hunger and catalyst. 2 lictors in the elite slot. I have 2 units of warriors in my troop slot, all kitted out with Boneswords and devourers. I just went with what was modeled. I know Lashwoods might be the more obvious choice, but I try and keep it as close to what you see is what you get. 10 Termagants, and then finally for the Behemoth Battalion, a Mawloc. My Trigon will be used as a Mawloc. Mandatory Kronos Detachment with 5 Zonethropes, adding some extra hitting power. Neurothrope with Symbiostorm, 3 Hive Guard, 3 Rippers, and the Exocrine. So that's 2,000 points of Tyranids.
Hey everyone, here is a 2,000 point list of Ultramarines in the Battalion Detachment. So Tyler and I are going to play a game together, and he's going to be coaching me along so he can kind of remember how to use Ultramarines again. So I hope you enjoy our battle. In my HQ slot I have Tigurius. I also have Captain upgraded to Chapter Master. He is knitted with the bolt pistol and chainsword. The goal here is to use him as a buff platform for all the back support units. For troops I brought 5 scouts with all snipers and camo cloaks, 2 units of 10 TAC Marines with 1 unit having plasma and the other one using the melta guns. Both have missile launchers. In the elite slot we have a squad of 5 company veterans with all plasma rifles. I then brought 5 stern guards with all melta guns. In first attack I have 7 assault marines with jump packs. The sergeant has a power axe, plasma pistol, and 1 marine has a flamer. For heavy support we also have 3 Devastator Centurions with las cannons and chest missile launchers. I have a Devastator squad with 2 plasma cannons and 2 las cannons. Also brought a Predator with twin link las cannons and 2 las cannons. For transport we have 2 drop pods, a Rhino, and a Razorback equipped with a twin linked las cannon. And that is it for our 2,000 points of Ultramarines.
Alright everyone, so let's take a look at the table and see what mission we're playing. We're playing Vital Intelligence from the Grand Tournament Pack 2020, which uses angle deployment style. So we have a zone marked out in red here. 1 there. We rolled off beforehand just to determine the which angle we would use. I don't know if you do that when we roll to see who chooses their zone, but we just did it this way. So there's a total of 6 objectives. 1 here. 1 in that zone. 1, 2, 3, 4 across the middle. So for objectives, I chose engage in all fronts, deploy scramblers, and I went with Vital Intelligence to switch it up from grind them down from my last time using this list. I think I'll be much more effective at using Vital Intelligence. Ultramarines chose engage in all fronts since they have those drop pods. The obvious choice of bring it down, and they went with Vital Intelligence as well. Perhaps some of those combat squatted TAC Marines that will inevitably be on the table will perform some actions there. So we're going to roll off here now and see who gets to choose their deployment zone. Then we'll come back and look at deployment and see who's going to go where. So let's see the Tyranids roll. So it is 3, 4. Ooh, the Tyranids get to pick their zone. So I think I will... I may have to look at this and come back, as always. But yeah, we'll come back after the deployment and see where the Tyranids ends up. I need to start thinking quicker on that. But we'll be back, take a look at deployment, and find out who is going first. Gone ahead deployed here. So, Tyranids on this side. So let's take a look at my zone and what we got going on. I got the Warriors lined up over here, ready to scoot forward and hold these objectives. With how resilient they are and how many wounds they have to chew through, I'll be pretty secure on the back end of this, where I may actually push both units forward and try and like wrap into his zone potentially. I do have my Rippers, I can come in and grab that. So my Rippers, obviously the Lictors and the Mawloc are in reserve. Got the Swarmlord tucked away with the Murder Tyrant here. Hive Guard is safely tucked in the middle. There is one line of sight that has been drawn to them, but hopefully I get first turn I can remove that threat, and I'll show you shortly. These Gaunts are perfectly in range to hold that objective and are going to hide from everything. The Warlord Tyrant's tucked right here. Zonethropes are hidden over this way. The Neurothrope, the only place I could get him securely was back there, so he's still going to easily be in range for Symbiostorm after he moves. Looking at the Ultramarine side, these Scouts moved up here, so they had a nice little cheeky zone. And we did check, and there is a line of sight right through the middle here at my Hive Guard, so there's nowhere I could hide them. I just wanted to get the full range with them. So on the Ultramarine end, all the attack squads is combated. She put one right on the corner here, aiming down this way. So yeah, my Exocrine couldn't be hidden while still getting a shot. I had to at least take some firepower. So I played the Exocrine in the middle, with knowing that no matter what, something's going to shoot at him. But I made it tougher for her to choose which one to go for. So in the back, with the Ultramarine force, we got one of the attack squads combat squatted here, with the Melta unit in there. The other attack squad is in here with the plasma rifles. Then we have the Dev Centurions. They don't have a lot of sight to a lot of things, but the Warriors are going to get chewed up if first turn goes to the Ultramarines. Another attack squad over at the corner here, risking it for the biscuit. They're probably going to get diced up unless first turn goes to the Ultramarines. Looking to really put a hurt on my troops units over that way. So looking to hamper me early, and then the assault squads in the middle. They're tucked away. The Zonethropes could come for them, but I don't know if I want to do that, especially with those Scouts hidden about right over here. So some tough choices going to have to be made for me. So very smart deployment by the Ultramarines. The Dev squad again aiming this way. So my Warriors are going to get hit hard if I can't get them out of the way. So Ultramarines really looking set up to push the envelope first turn and clear off anything else. Tigurius and the Captain right there buffing everything else. And of course in reserve we have both drop pods with the Company Veterans and the Stern Guard. So looking to put a lot of hurt on the Tyranids and put down lots of roadblockers. So I do have a very aggressive list, but we'll see how it holds up. If I don't get first turn here, it's going to be bad. So we're going to roll off right here. So let's go and see what happens. So go Tyranids, getting a 6. Oh no. A 5. So first turn goes to the Tyranids, so that is not good for the poor Ultramarines. But they were set up for a good first turn strike. But that's it. So we're going to come back after Tyranids turn 1. Hopefully the Ultramarines can weather the storm. They definitely would have put a huge hurting on Tyranids had they have got that first turn volley. But now, we'll see how they react when we come back after Tyranids turn 1 movement. Alright, that's it for Tyranids turn 1 moving. So Exocrine moved up, positioned himself in such a way that he can see the Centurions. Murder Tyrant came up this way with Swarmlord. He's 6 inches away, so he's going to be launching ahead to take out that Predator. Rolled a 6 on my advanced with the Zonethropes, grabbing that objective. Gaunts actioned for Vital Intelligence. It got 4 points on the line right now. As my Warriors advanced up to grab this objective, we count just in range at 3 inches just for the heights there. Could also be an unfair advantage for whoever is this side. So it's only within 3. We count that. Warriors lined up here, getting line of sight and range on those Ultramarines right there, blocking themselves out from the Devs and the Centurions over there. Hive Tyrant jumped up and he had to advance to grab me that objective, but also just move ahead in enough range to take them out, hopefully. So that's it for moving. We'll come back after Psychic and shooting. That's it for shooting and Psychic for the Tyranids. So Neurothrope, I spent a CP, had to do a reroll to get Symbiostorm off on the Exocrine. between the Exocrine and Hive Guard actually double tapping, and with Symbiostorm, I only was able to kill 2 Centurions over there. Rolled incredibly well for the Ultramarines, and yeah, kept 2 of them alive, so that's not going to be good for me. The Zonethropes psyched it in, absolutely decimated the scouts. They are all gone. It's 6 mortal wounds in total. The Psychic scream through there, dropping 3 wounds on the Predator. Murder Tyrant launched up thanks to Swarmlord being right up here to give him the slingshot. Between the Warriors and the Tyrant there, only able to take the Marines down to 1. So still a rocket guy sitting there, so I'm potentially going to have a rocket coming back in my face. Still going to have some devastating hitting right here against this Predator, but we'll see what happens. We'll come back after the charges and fighting. Alright, that's it for Tyranids Turn 1. So the Murder Tyrant jumped back because the Predator is no longer with us. However, the Ultramarines used their Defender strat, and it got to shoot with the Devastators, the Razorback, and the Assault Marines, getting a few rerolls from the Captain right there. And the Predator also overwatched. Both last cannon shots went through. I actually did a wound. A wound went through with the bolter from the Sergeant on the Devastators, and then both the invols on both the last cannons hits, I passed them. So the Murder Tyrant continues to just be an absolute nuisance with my above average rolling. So in terms of objectives, I scored 2 points for engage on all fronts, having a unit here, here, and here. I didn't get 3, but that's it for Tyranids Turn 1. So put a bit of a beating to the Ultramarines are starting to. One thing I forgot to mention too is that she had the Tigurius bubble going over to the Centurions. So yeah, so the bubble that went over to them was the -1 to hit. So that's why between these guys I didn't do as much damage. I forgot to mention that before, and also like rolling good on the save. So tried to focus them down, but we'll move into Ultramarines Turn 1. That's it for the Ultramarines moving. So the attack Marines here moved up. They knew that they get the penalty for moving and shooting, but they just get in there, steal that objective. So that objective is now stolen. The Ultramarines now hold that objective with the Assault Marines. Tactical Marines are in place as well, looking to take out that Battle Murder Tyrant. Captain and Tigurius moved in to get their buffs going in a circle in here. Over this way, the Razorback moved up, getting a bead down on the Murder Tyrant and the Exocrine. And that's it for moving. So we'll come back after Psychic and shooting for the Ultramarines. That's the end of Ultramarines Turn 1 shooting and Psychic. So Psychic, both powers were denied by the Tyranids. Moved, actually, we adjusted Tigurius as there was line of sight through there for the Telepathic Assault, which is one of the powers. So just went to go for that and wouldn't change like anything. So made that move. And they were all denied by the Zonethropes of the Tyrant, who was just in range. So no powers went off for Tigurius. And then in terms of shooting, oh man, so many saves made by the Tyranids, or just terrible damage rolls. So tons of damage came in from the Melta guns. Only 1 damage rolled for both the Meltas, and then dropped that guy down to 1 wound. All of these guys fired in, and all saves are made. I think like almost all but 1 wound went through, including the Flamer. The Plasma fired at the Hive Tyrant, who made his save as well. And then the Ultramarines used the Marksman, I think that's what it's called, stratagem to fire in at the Hive Tyrant. Both hit, obviously, as they auto-hit, and both wounded, but then both impulse saves are made again. So, oh sorry, one of them went through, the impulse save, and only 1 damage went through. So Hive Tyrant is just tanking everything. And then over this way, oh, so the Centurions fired in at the Exocrine, only managed to get off a total of 4 wounds. 2 las cannon wounds went through, and double ones for damage. So getting all the hits, but not quite getting the amount of wounds. And then even from the Ultramarines that snuck in through here, same idea. And then the other Ultramarine unit of Devastators firing in at the Exocrine, just the Laskin, just a typical Laskins at sea. So we did have line of sight to the Exocrine, and made both my 5-up Dermic Symbiosis saves. So just brutal. Poor Ultramarines. They are, I think, if they had first turn, it'd be a different story. So interesting thing when we actually keep track of is how many wins come about from first turn. So maybe I'll do a video once we get a good handful of games down. We'll see the statistics for that. I know this is a tougher Tyranid list, but the Ultramarines were up for the challenge, so looking to have a good game and give a good performance. So it's all about enjoying the game and rising up to the challenge. So we'll come back after the charging. There is going to be some charges going on here. I mean, got to do what you got to do, and maybe even the Rhino sneaking in. And this objective is stolen as well. I do want to mention that. So even footing on objectives, so going to be denying some primaries for the Tyranids. So we'll come back after charging and fight. That's it for the charging and fighting for Ultramarines turn 1. Tyrant is down to 2 wounds. So the jump pack guys did their Hammer Wrath stratagem, did 4 mortal wounds to him, and then proceeded to do 4 more wounds going through with just the chainsword. So incredible results there. They were thinking about fighting again, but held off just to maintain the CP for transhuman physiology. The Rhino made the charge here with a nice big 9-inch charge, so the Zonethropes are tied up for quite some time. That Rhino can back off and still shoot in, so the Zonethropes will be useless for at least the next turn, with this objective securely held by the Ultramarines. So good play by them. Total of 2 points for engage on all fronts for this quarter, that quarter, that quarter. So Ultramarines is not out of it yet. Still got some solid reinforcements coming, but as do the Tyranids. Tyranids still have a lot of hitting power on the table. If only that shooting phase was a bit better. So we'll come back after Tyranids turn to moving. That's it for Tyranids moving. So Tyranids actually did score all 3 primaries, just due to the assault brains coming off that objective. It was a calculated risk though, because that murder tyrant is almost dead, but the cost of points, it's hard to say. So I shifted my forces around, just going full deny. Swarmlord moved up, getting ready to charge in there at those guys. Warriors come around just to get some shots here. Pulled this tyrant back this way, just may take the Exocrine, fire at that. Warriors moved up to get on the objective to nice and securely hold that for myself. I left the Zonethropes in combat because I'd rather just get their smites off. And Mawloc came up. He used Auspex, she used Auspex again, sorry. Yeah, the Centurions fired and killed Mawloc, believe it or not. I don't want to believe it, but anyway. The Lictor came up, threw down the Scramblers in the enemy deployment zone. My Gaunts, once again, back there, performed Vital Intelligence. I scored 3 for that because I only had 3 at the end of the turn. Last turn, so we'll come back after Psychic and Shooting. That's it for Tyranid shooting and Psychic phase. So failed Symbiostorm there. Probably would have helped. I didn't use my Pathogenic Slime with the Exocrine because I was going to try and take out this Razorback, and I wanted to save some CP. Ended up dropping it down to 2 wounds, and then between all these warriors, only 2 could see, and then the Tyrant, and then 2 more over there. Dropped it down to 1 wound, and shot with my Hive Guard to try and take out these Centurions, but that stinking buff from Tigurius, I keep forgetting about that. Forgetting to mention, I know I'm aware of it, but it's, I didn't get any through in them, made all of the saves with the Centurions. They double tapped. I had to finish off the Razorback. 2 shots went at that. The other 4 shots went at the Centurions, but again, making all those saves. Oh my goodness. I know how it's like to play Zonethropes now. Over this way, Zonethropes smited in, took the Rhino down to 7 wounds. Tyrant here smited these guys down and shot off another one. So took out one with the smite, took out another with shooting. The Zonethropes actually parallel. I had to spend another CP to reroll that. So I'm down to 4 CP in total. So we'll come back. I'm going to do some charges with Swarmlord coming in to finish these guys off so they don't get attacks on me. And this Tyrant's hopefully going to make that charge there and take out that OBSEC unit. So we'll come back after charges and fight. Is it for the Tyranids charging. So over this way, the Swarmlord came in, failed my charge, had to reroll the stratagem. He diced them up. And then this Tyrant failed to charge a 2. Rolled double ones. Unfortunate. So at the end of the Tyranids turn, I am in 4 table quarters, thanks to my Lictor over there and having everything all spread out. So I'm getting 3 with that. I got 3 for Vital Intelligence, all 15 from primary, all collective 15. So that's going to put me at 23 points to 2 points for the Ultramarines. So Ultramarines got some reinforcements coming. I got them her all zoned out nicely. And then over this way, they do have this objective because there is troops there. So I do want to mention that. However, I did have to give up this objective with the Swarmlord coming in. I was hoping to kind of push back, but I got them out of line of sight. So still heavily in the Tyranids' favor, but this game is not over. I cannot get rid of those Centurions. Alright, that's it for Ultramarines movement on turn 2. So scoring a total of 5 objectives for the primary, 3 for bring it down, just where that Mawloc was killed during my turn with the Tyranids, but they do get the points for that, and score 3 where it is a larger monster. So Centurions moved up, making sure to get line of sight down at the Exocrine over there. Captain and Tigurius maintain their buff. Tigurius moved in such a way that he can telepathic assault to zap that, Lictor out of there. And over this way, the Devastators, I had to move them to get some, to get line of sight put onto that Tyrant, and also just down through the middle to plow away the warriors there. Drop pods came down right in the middle, deploying the Melta squad here, so they have range on this Tyrant and the Exocrine, depending on how things shake up. The other attack Marine squad over here dropped down, or sorry, they moved over to grab that objective. The drop pod came down to hold that objective as well, just where I zoned out the Ultramarines with the back here, so there's no other good place that the drop pod could have came down. The plasma unit came out, got line of sight drawn to the Neurothrope, as well as the Swarmlord and the Murder Tyrant, just in case. Rhino stayed engaging my zone throps just to keep them tied up for at least one more turn. And the squad inside there actually went to perform the Vital Intelligence action. They have 3 objectives now, just where they grabbed that one, so 3 potential points on the board coming up. So we'll see what happens. These guys are getting close to that objective, ready to zap the warriors off there and deny 5 points. So big results going to come up. So we'll see what happens after Psychic and Shooting for the Ultramarines. So end of Psychic and Shooting phase, turn 2. So the Murder Tyrant is gone, thanks to the combined might of the drop pod and attack marines there, dealing out a wound with the drop pod, and then the attack marines finishing it off. Then 2 of the company veterans were slain, overcharging their plasma rifles to try and take out the Swarmlord, scoring 6 hits all said and done, but then only a single wound went through, rolling 5 ones. So dreadful luck there, but it did go through, so 2 damage done to the Swarmlord. The Exocrine is no more, thanks to the combined might of these attack marines, the Centurions, and then 3 warriors and another warrior dropped down to 1 wound. Sorry, 3 warriors killed and another warrior dropped down to 1 wound, thanks to the Devastators moved up. The Ultramarines spending some CP this turn using the Stern Guard. That's them. Keep wanting to call them company veterans, and the other one's Stern Guard. But they dropped the Tyrant down to 5 wound, thanks to using the Sons of Gilliman, allowing them to re-roll some hit rolls, being that 3 ones were rolled. So 4 Meltas going through, and then the Tyrant saved 2, but then the other 2 went through, dropping him down to 5 wounds. And Tigurius tried to telepathically assault this Lictor, but rolled a 9, which is the Lictor's leadership, so no damage dealt there. So that's it. We're going to come back after the charging and fighting. I think these attack marines are going to charge in and see if they can clear off those warriors and claim that objective for themselves. So combat has been done, and they walked in and patted one another on the back. So the Ultramarines got 4 wounds through. The warriors saved them all. And the warriors got all hits except 1, and then rolled all 3s and 2s, believe it or not, and then a single 4, which the Ultramarines proceeded to save with 6 up. So, however, it is an Ultramarine controlled objective, being that they are both troops, but there are more models in range of the objective for the Ultramarines. So not a bad turn, all said and done. So gaining a total of 9 points for bring it down. And then 2 points for engage. Not quite into my table quarter here yet, but they are well on their way. So that is it, and morale's done, so they are good. And yeah, that was it. They had to do morale, being that they lost 2 guys. And then the Rhino and the Zone Folks continue to just bump each other in the head. No damage being dealt out to either one there as well. So we'll come back after Tyranids Turn 3 moving. So actually shaping up to be a pretty decent game. Some heavy hits on both sides, but can the Ultramarines hold off long enough to score out and catch up to the Tyranids? Alright, that's the end of Tyranids Turn 3 moving. So my Gaunt's performing another action for Vital Intelligence to get me 2 more points on the go. Only captured 2 points with those stinking attack marines coming up and stealing an objective from me. Over here my Rippers came in and grabbed this objective to free my warriors up to come off, and that way my Rippers can start to perform the action on that objective for Vital Intelligence, while my Gaunts can then drop down the last Scrambler. I came into the neutral zone with my Lictor, who I was hiding back over there. We'll see him in a second, but my warriors are advancing up. The Tyrant jumped forward to take out the Centurions there. Around this way, the Neurothrope just kind of stayed where he was. He had line of sight up to these guys here, so hopefully we'll smite them out of the way with the Swarmlord getting ready to clear off the objective. Lictor popped in here as well. I'm probably going to charge him in just that way. I'll outnumber him if I can kill all these guys. And then between the Lictor and the Swarmlord, the objective will be mine. And then over this way, I'm going to just have to deal with that Rhino and then go in and get those guys after. So, and then over in the corner here, my other Lictor ran to the corner just to guarantee me engage on all fronts for the rest of the game. Because I don't think she'll be able to come back and get me there with the Lictor. So that's it for Tyranids turn 3 movement. So scoring a total of 7 points. Only got one of my primaries, so good on the Ultramarines there for some denial, but hoping to, deal some heavy damage this turn and really neutralize their effect to hold objectives. Alright, so I end up Tyranids Psychic and shooting for turn 3. So Swarmlord moved up, took out one of these guys. My Hive Guard double tapped just to target them and shoot them up a little bit to guarantee Swarmlord, or should guarantee Swarmlord to dice them up. Hive Guard then originally fired at the Stern Guard squad right here, rolled incredibly well, got 8 hits in total because they got Symbiostorm from the Neurothrope. Neurothrope also smited in and killed 2 of these guys. Speaking on Psychic, the Zoanthropes dropped that down to 2 wounds, and then the Tyrant up there tried to smite as well but failed to do anything. And then these Devastators were shot at by the Tyrant, and also 2 of the Warriors who came around this side, and the Devastator down to 2. So that's it for Tyranids shooting. So not a lot left for the Ultramarines. Not looking good, that is for sure, but we'll come back after the charges and fighting and see what happens. Alright, that's it for the turn 3 for Tyranids. So a dude lived. I whiffed my attacks with the Swarmlord. Only got 2 attacks through and dice those 2 guys up, obviously, with 1 guy left. So really unfortunate. Then the Warriors flooded in and absolutely diced them up, so I was able to take that objective back for myself, thus putting my Vital Intelligence objective value up to 3. Over this way, the Murder Tyrant came in, killed off only one of the Centurions. Again, another roll with the Tyrant with only one wound going through. So, and that's all that they needed to take them out. So the Centurion holds that objective, and the Ultramarine tactic is about to come into play as they back up and get some shots off. Morales again, very fortunate on the morales. Not so much on the damage rolls this game, but morales are going good for her. So I mean, it is looking grim for the Ultramarines, but in total the score is 33 to 18. And we still have a few more turns to go. So we'll see what damage output can be done. Maybe a few of these big bugs can be taken out, and then there's not a lot of mobility left for the Ultramarines, or even really the Tyranids, but we'll see what happens as we come back after turn 3 movement, Ultramarines. Alright, that's it for Ultramarines moving. So again, the Rhino is just going to keep them tied up. This guy disengaged to get ready to shoot at the Swarmlord, hopefully chip some wounds away on him. And then the Lone Company veteran is running over this way along with the Lone Stern Guard. I'm going to tie up the Hive Guard, because if the Hive Guard get tied up, then the thought behind that is that I won't have as much to shoot with, and I'm going to have that objective no matter what. Probably that one too. These Marines are going to be performing the action again, just to hopefully hold the Zonethropes out of there as well. So, and then back this way, the Centurion backed up, and he's going to get ready to fire at the Hive Tyrant. And Tigurius backed off just to ensure that he had a line of sight to the Hive Tyrant, going to be looking to smite him and take him out of the way. And then the Centurions are positioned enough, too, that they have a bead down on the Warriors there. So, oh, actually, I think the intent was to get there, but moving right there will still hold the objective. So, we'll come back, see what happens after Psychic and Shooting. So Psychic and Shooting phase done for turn 3 for the Ultramarines. Swarmlord's down to 1 wound. Oh, it was so close. The lone Centurions with the Marksman stratagem from the Ultramarines, making all his hits using that, and then dropping him down to wound using the last Ultramarine stratagem to try and re-roll one of the damage rolls with the missile launcher, but got the same result. So he's down to 1. These Marines broke their action to shoot at him just to see if they could get it through. The missile launcher went through, wounded, and he failed his save, followed by a command reroll, and he is good. Oh, poor Ultramarines. And then bolters went in and did no damage, so he's kicking around with 1 wound. Over this way, the Stern Guard melted one of the Hive Guard, and this guy came in and didn't do anything with the shooting, but he's gonna, get ready to charge. Sorry, he shot at Swarmlord to see if he could take him out, but no dice. And this Tyrant is down to 3 wounds after Tigurius smited him, and then the las cannon guys fired in at the Hive Tyrant, and of course both invul saves are made, but some charges are going to go down. A big debate is being had on whether this guy charges in to finish off the Swarmlord or just hangs out and forces the Swarmlord to have to deal with him. But a simple smite would take him out, so it's going to be a risky move. We'll see what happens after the charging and assault. So ends turn 3. So the lone Marine couldn't pull it off. Got both hits, but could not take out the Swarmlord. However, that objective is contested thanks to the drop pod. The Tyranids will have hold more now, unfortunately. But the Marines, they were going to charge in and help, but it was a long charge, but didn't quite make it. Over this way, whoa. So Tigurius is taken out by the Hive Tyrant. So between everyone here, they couldn't get a single wound through. Tigurius actually had him, got 3 wounds on him, but he made all his invuls but 1, but I used my last reroll and kept him alive, which he proceeded to then dice up to Tigurius getting 5 wounds, which was just what he needed to get through. So all in all, though, the Ultramarines have 32 points to the Tyranids 33. So, I mean, there's not a lot of Ultramarines on the table, but they are playing a very smart game, keeping it close. However, I'm about to come out with my deploy scramblers, which will put me quite a bit ahead, but there's a ton of monsters that are just limping around. I mean, Swarmlord, if he was taken out, that would have held that objective, denied hold more, and it would have been 3 more points for the Ultramarines, plus taking out the other Tyrant there would have kept things going pretty well. I think actually it would have been a very interesting game. Having not killed the Swarmlord is going to be the big difference maker here. Plus my Lictors are still lurking about too, just to be an annoyance. So, but that's it. We'll come back after Tyranids turn for movement. It's the end of Tyranids turn 4. So just went ahead and played the full turn where it was actually a very quick turn, not a whole lot of moving. Really only the only thing that happened with moving is the Gaunts as well. They planted down the Scrambler, so we got that. And then the Rippers over there performed the next Vital Intelligence for going into the next turn. Neurothrope smited them away, freeing up the Hive Guard to shoot. The Warriors just adjusted to fire and killed off the Devastators. The Tyrant fell back, with the Lictor coming up around just to deny that objective between the Tyrant and him. And then down here, between the Tyrant and Swarmlord and the Zonethropes, Rhino died. And there's 1 Marine left. He just charged in. And so the Zonethropes, taking them down to just 1 lone Marine who passed morale. As it stands right now, though, looks like a Tyranid victory. But we're going to play out the last Ultramarines turn comeback and then give you a final score just to see what it looks like. And then talk a little bit about the game. Alright, so that ends it for the Ultramarines. So what all happened? The lone missile guy, he's tucked away in there. He fell back and using the Ultramarines tactics, shot in and blew up the Swarmlord. So yeah, he's gone. A couple of the Stormbolters in there tried to chip away at the Zonethropes, but with no luck. And then between the Centurion and the Captain, they took out the Hive Tyrant, who wasn't there. So gaining a total of 5 points because Bring It Down has been maxed out. So end score is 64 to 37 in his favor of the Tyranids. There's no possible way the Ultramarines can catch up because even into next turn, they would only have one objective based off that guy living the Zonethropes and their psychic attacks. And this objective is in the favor of the Ultramarines because that Captain we just moved him quickly over there, but he would have been within 3 inches of that. So that's one objective, or sorry, 2 objectives, but that's based on him living. Where this one's contested. So in the end, a Tyranid victory. So very happy about how the Murder Tyrant list played out. I know it looked kind of bad for the Ultramarines for a little bit there, but some very unstatistical rolling. But on a whole, though, I think it was a good game. Ultramarines played well. My wife, who went upstairs with the kids, big thank you to her for playing it through and taking some coaching from me. She's never really played watched many games of Warhammer, but never officially played it herself. So I threw together a list and kind of coached her on the options available to her, and she kind of made choices through that. So it was a lot of fun. It's great for me as well to learn more rules about the Ultramarines. That way, the next report with them taking on the Salamanders, I'll be up to date and refreshed on few tactics and strategies, so very excited to try them out and give the Salamanders a refreshing opponent to play against as well. So now quickly talking about the mission and how things turned out, I think it was a good choice taking the secondaries I did. Engage is always a good one for Tyranids. Same with the Police Scramblers, especially when the Lictors are in play. It's almost a guarantee to get that one. And I think the mission secondary Vital Intelligence, as I mentioned at the start of the video, was a great choice. Being that I had enough units like the Termagants, the Rippers to come up to ensure that I can get my Scramblers down with using the Gaunts while still having the Rippers to take over the Vital Intelligence action at whatever point in the game I needed. Ultramarines, I think they had good objectives, just to drop pods. I did a very good job of zoning them out. One thing as well, again, if you're... I am new to relearning the Ultramarines rules, and I wasn't sure if drop pods could come in turn 1. The rules say they can, but I wasn't sure if match play trumps that. I'm sure someone will let me know. Either way, I'll be finding that out, and I don't think it would have made a whole lot of difference if they came down first turn. They might have, but it's hard to say. I think in terms of objectives, even if they did kill some stuff, the Tyranids really zoned out the Ultramarines, especially on the primaries. So in total for secondary points, the Tyranids had, what do we got here? 39 points altogether to 23 secondary points. And the Tyranids had a total of 35 primary points to Ultramarines 15. So really crushed them on the primary. Secondary a little bit, but again, losing a couple Vital Intelligence phases just to try and maximize shooting due to the damage they took kind of mess them up. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed the report. Definitely be back for more. It was a great, like I said, great chance to have a little fun gaming here with my wife, who may or may not be back. Warhammer's not everything, but again, big thanks to her for being a good sport and help me kind of play through this to relearn the armies and put together an exciting report for all of you. So stay tuned for the next one and more Tyranid Tactica to come, and potentially this may be down the road a bit, but we are trying to look at doing a Crusade series. I'm just trying to figure out how to present it, as well as for us to learn the rules and kind of figure out how we can make it balanced, entertaining, and very fun to follow along with. So thanks again. We'll see you in the next video.